want to really quickly go over one where you have to give me all the stuff, okay?
Wait, what number is this?
All right, so all the stuff you're looking for your X-intercept, you're looking for your Y-intercept, right? You're looking for your vertical asymptotes and your holes. And you're looking for your horizontal asymptotes. And honestly, this is what you need to do on your quiz. You need to somewhere write a list, okay? So that you can just make sure you have gone through all the processes, okay? And so there are things that I do that you may not necessarily do, but like horizontal asymptote, I'm going to do that first because that is just a quick, I'm going to look at my degrees and see what's going on, okay? And so for my horizontal asymptote, I'm going to immediately check these degrees and say, oh, they're the same. So that's going to be y equals the coefficients, okay? Y equals the coefficients of those numbers. So this guy is going to be y equals the coefficient up here, that's a 1, and the coefficient down here, 3. Y equals 1/3. Done, all right? These are my shortcuts, okay? Those are my degree shortcuts. So when we do this, we're looking at our degrees. My degree shortcuts is what's going on there. The other thing I typically do at this point is Y-intercept. Y-intercept. Because for Y-intercept, I'm going to find every place, I'm going to plug in x equals 0 and see what happens, okay? For this particular one, which is similar to the one I keep getting questions on, I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 on top. And I have 0 minus 0 plus 0 on bottom. That seems like that works, but what's my problem? Even with the 0 on top, I cannot have a 0 on bottom, okay? So that means I don't have one. Now, if I had had a plus 1 on top and a minus 2 on bottom, I'd be good to go, right? I would have a negative 1/2, we'd be fine, okay? But because everything zeroes out all the way across the board, even on the bottom, I don't have one. All right, so those two are done. Now I'm going to factor.
Wait, so what if it was on top?
All right, so now I'm going to factor. All right, your first step in factoring, because some of you are factoring some of the smaller ones incorrectly, is to take out your common factor. So on top, if I take out my common factor, I get an x. And I'm just going to do it up here so you can see what happens. X squared plus 2x minus 8, right? So that x is going to be out here. And then I'm looking at factors of 8 that subtract to give me 2, which is going to be what? I got this, thanks, all right? All right, x plus 4x minus 2, right? I was just showing you what happens when you pull that x out, all right? On bottom, I can actually take out a 3x. Everybody see that? So if I took out a 3x right here, I would get x cubed minus 5x plus 6. So now I'm looking at factors of 6 that add up to 5, which is x minus 3, x minus 2. All right? So don't forget that your first step is to take out a common factor. Take out a common factor. All right, so at this point, I'm going to start seeing my holes and my vertical asymptotes, and then the very last thing I'm actually going to do is X-intercept, okay? So out of all the things on the bottom, I have to start seeing, does it cancel, does it not? That helps me determine what type of discontinuity I have, okay? So the 3x, that is when x is 0, right? Does it cancel? Does the 3x, does that 0 cancel with anything?
Yes.
Yeah, the problem does. This guy cancels. Does it not? So what is 0? A hole or an asymptote? It's going to be a hole. We're going to have a hole at 0 there, at x equals 0. What about the x minus 3? Does that cancel? What causes a problem there? Positive 3, right? So it does not cancel. What is it? It's a vertical. All right. What about the 2? X equals 2. Does it cancel? Yes, it does. What is it? We have another hole at 2. Everybody see that? Okay. So now I'm ready to look at my X-intercepts. Now I'm moving to X-intercepts because that's what happens when the numerator is 0. However, only the pieces of the numerator that I have not already accounted for. All right? So when I figure this guy out, I am going to say 0, that's when the numerator is 0, but only the piece I have not accounted for. That's this guy. Only that one. All right? So where is my x-intercept? At -4, 0. And those are all the pieces that I'm looking for.